it's Julia, even though he's calling himself Kingfish here. So here we go.
Kingfish.
This is Julia, right?
Yeah, I think so, but I'm thinking about something else. Which Kingfish, I think it's the last person at the Holy Grail Crusade or something like that. So probably has some story to it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I know I've heard it somewhere. I'm just not. I can't recall where.
Huh. Well, Julia, aka Kingfish, will be the teal Zerg in the top right, and Cryoc will be the orange Terran in the bottom left.
And Julia is, I think, if I recall correctly, also Julian, which I don't know. Julian may be the girlfriend. Julian may be his name. It's very hard for me to tell.
It's all good, man. I mean, you know, there've been pro gamers called like Cute Angel and stuff, so I think Julia's fine. I think that's absolutely fine. I mean, who am I to judge? I mean, my ID on IC Cup is Magical Girl, so whatever. It's all good, man. I mean, I understand, because you want to pick an ID that strikes fear into the heart of your opponents, and what could be scarier than losing to a guy called Magical Girl on IC Cup? I mean, that's my reasoning, right? So,
well,
like, you know, I mean, if you lose to some guy with some hardcore name like, you know, Slayer 99, it's like, okay, yeah, that dude's he's pretty serious, he's pretty hardcore, you know, he's probably pretty good. But you lose to someone called Magical Girl on IC Cup, you're just tilted for like the rest of your life. Just so mad.
I have to say that the first I made for myself that sticked around, like it was something that I used for more than a few games, was Templar Loser. Yeah, so people were really mad when they lost against me because this was in BattleNet times, so when they were really losing, I would just I would have like 1 or 2 wins and like 2,000 losses. So when people played against me and they lost, they were really upset.
Nice.
This is back in the BattleNet times.
It's good times, man. Those were the best of times and the worst of times.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we have here? It looks like an overpool expand here from Julia. Interesting. It's not a 12 hatch. And, oh, it's 2 barracks opening from Cryoc. Very interesting. The second barracks actually hidden at the top here. I'm not quite sure why this is. See, normally a 2 barracks opening is just if you're scared the Zerg is going for like a 9 pull or something and you don't want to die. Which is definitely possible from Julia, but he's actually hidden this, so I don't know if this is some kind of secret hidden aggressive strat coming out.
Yeah, I think if I recall correctly, the way you do this is you start making from 1 racks, and you actually specially allow the Zerglings in, but you try to kind of block them so they see only 1 racks. So they basically, the Zerg then says, okay, you only have 1 racks. And you continue producing with the second racks, and you try to hit with like 4 SCVs and maybe 8 Marines.
Very interesting, but it looks like he's actually going to block the links because he scouted that it was a pull first build and not a 12 hatch. He's a little bit concerned about this. And...
yeah, but that still gives the same amount of information for Julian, unless he shows that he actually has Marines in there. He really shouldn't be showing that many Marines.
Yeah, definitely not. Sorry, I don't know if you guys could hear that. My cat is complaining.
Your cat now decided to answer the question that you asked before.
I know, right? Oh, hold that thought, though. The Lynx actually closing with the Marines to SCP, just completely abandoned the Marines there. And wow, big win here for Julia. Now, Cryoc forced to show a couple of extra Marines. I don't know if this is actually... this must have tipped off Julia that something's going on. There's way too many Marines to be out right now.
Yeah, the Sunken actually goes down instantly. Actually, maybe 2 Sunkens? No? Second probe? No, okay, sorry. Okay, so only 1 Sunken, but yeah, that's enough information.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say that at this point, the second barracks might be lifted. Ooh. Oh, hell yeah. But no, I was thinking about actually sending it to the Zerg main and actually scouting with it.
That's... but like a barracks though, it's not, you know, like an eBay in PvT where it doesn't actually do anything for you. Like the barracks is going to be quite important here, I think. So, and it would take so long, especially since they're cross-mapped to get there, that I'm not convinced that that would be worth it. Even if he doesn't, like, let's say, even if he doesn't produce from this barracks for another 30 seconds, I still think, like, how long does it actually take for a building to flow cross map? It must be more than 30 seconds, right?
Yeah, it's quite a lot. Although the thing is, until the layer is finished, you still don't give rats whatever. Whether there is actually a spire or not, you want to see that later. But the reason why I was thinking about it, because since he made the gas, you could go pretty much to a factory and go for like the fantasy build, but at the same time the second barracks can scout and you know exactly what you want to produce. It's still kind of crazy, but considering what Cryoc was going for, which is this kind of 2 barracks which didn't achieve anything, and now he's going for an expansion. I mean, I would really want that information if I was Cryoc.
Yeah. That is very true.
Because now the question is, okay, you go for... We know that you want to go for Marines, you know, medics, you want to get this comsat, but it's gonna take you some time to have a beefy army, and we see already that Kingfish... Interesting. Well, actually, that's pretty weak because the Hydra Den is finished way later than the lair, so the timing of that is actually quite bad. Also, no money for the lurker upgrade. But still, if you knew this as the turn right now, you'd actually go and contain the exit, and there is not, and basically the Zerg cannot get out. You can even put bunkers in there if you wanted. It would be actually doable. You can do that.
Well, he's moving out now, and considering how late the lurker tech is going to be, he may have the opportunity, although his army is getting a little bit split. You gotta be careful. There are some Zerglings in the middle of the map. They're actually going to walk right past each other here, excuse me, with the Marines going on the left side, and the Zerglings just hiding on the right side here. Could potentially provide a really nice flank or a counter, depending on what he wants to do, although there's 2 fire bats already in the natural here. For Cryoc. So let's see. I mean, the 3 Sunkens though are going to help a lot. There's a scan. He sees the Hydralisk, so he knows exactly what's going on right now. Still no lurker aspect research though. Is that a fake Hydralisk?
Yep, it's a fake.
Oh my god. That's really smart actually. That actually tricked me. Huh. Oh, but he sees now that the eggs are all morphing at the same time. I think Cryoc is smart enough to know that that's a fake.
I'm not so sure. It's tricky to see that.
It is very tricky, isn't it?
He did start with a 2 barracks, so he might not be exactly certain at this point.
That's true. Oh,
he's
man.
He's not building any turrets, so...
I mean, well, the eBay I think just finished, but crucially, he's not building a bunker at the front. I feel like if he thought it was lurkers, there'd be a bunker at the front, right? Oh wait, hold that thought! The Mutiling kill everything at the front! Whoa, I was looking at the Terran base. The Terran army has been shredded by the surprise Mutiling attack. And Cryoc now is going to have to build some desperation turrets here. ASAP, there's no turrets up in the main base at all. 2 turrets in the natural. He needs to start building them in the main base right now. Finally, a turret has started, but it's going to be right on the edge here. The turret's at the natural finish. What he needs is for the Mutas to actually waste time at the natural here, and that's exactly what they are going to do here, assuming that all the turrets were up in time, but actually missing a really nice opportunity.
The thing I find really funny is that Julia is actually getting a Queen's Nest.
Oh, what the heck?
On 2 base.
Oh god.
And this is probably for something like Guardians, so...
Oh god, that is a very fast Queen's Nest. It's finished now. Let's see, he's going to make the Hive. There is the Hive, ladies and gentlemen. Hive started pretty much exactly the same time as the 3rd base for the Zergs. That is a very, very, very fast Hive. Is he just going to skip lurkers? No, he did get lurkers as well. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, the mutas are gonna do some damage, but at the same time, how many lurkers can you realistically get off of something like this? Yeah, I mean, Bakary is pointing out that this is kind of standard timing for the Queen's Nest. I would say yes, in the highest level, if you can actually afford it, I would agree, but this was a slightly weird game, considering the beginning and then the attack that Cryoc was doing, and the fact that basically Kingfish started with first the Hydra Den, then Aspire, then went back to do some units, then... So, maybe just doing it in a different order actually caught a Cryoc off guard?
Well, either way, he's got very few SCVs at his natural right now. He is going for the big attack on the top left, but there are 2 lurkers there. They are stop lurkers, and there is the unload. Oh man, gets all but 2 of the Marines. Very, very nice maneuver there.
Yeah, I mean, and the Defiler Mound going down right now, so... I mean, Cryoc, he's in a really bad position, because usually as the Terran, you'd want to have map control by now, so that you can pressure until the Defiler Mound is finished, but in this case, it's the opposite. Julia actually has the control, is going to have the tech advantage, and is also getting the Greater Spire, so...
So he is. He's also getting a base at the bottom right. That's actually interesting to me because, see, the base at the bottom right, taking these like really spread apart bases is nice for Zerg because they have Nidus canals that can instantly connect everything. But obviously flying units can't go in Nidus canals. So like I would have expected it would make more sense to focus on the ground army if you're doing this and taking these like far apart bases so they're easy to defend, you know, by going through the Nidus. Whereas the Guardians, obviously, yeah, it's nice you can make some Guardians in the back of the Terra Natural, but they don't actually, you know, synergize quite as well with the super spread apart bases because they actually take 1,000,000 years to get anywhere.
Yeah. Well, Consume is about 50% done. Greater Spire is 80% done. Not looking too good for Cryoc, unfortunately.
Yep, but he is going to go for the pre-consume timing here. He does have 3 siege tanks as well, and those should make short work of these few lurkers at the front. But yeah, as you say, I mean, with that spell almost finished, it's pretty much finished now, so gonna have to immediately retreat as soon as that's done. And unfortunately for him, well, the mutas are presumably going to turn into Guardians shortly in the back here. The Greater Spire has now finished. There's the Irradiate on the first Defiler, but it does manage to start consuming already, so it gets the Dark Swarm on the Lurkers, and I think Cryoc should just unsiege right now before he gets Zerglings on top of the Siege Tanks. He's actually moving forward, though.
I mean, probably he knows that unless he breaks this now, he's probably dead, so...
Oh, man. There we go, finally the unsiege. He does at least keep all his tanks alive. Gonna have to pull back here. But the first Guardian is morphing in the back of the natural expansion. The science facility actually is floating back here. He doesn't see the Guardian morphing, but knowing that all the mutas are here, he's gotta know what's going on. Actually, it's pretty funny.
More expansions.
Is he actually gonna bait these mutas into the turrets? He needs to repair the science facility though. Oh, the mutas weren't on hold position! He's baiting them into the turrets. That's actually really nice. Gets 1 free muta. Would have been better actually if the Marines came faster. He could have killed a lot of those mutas. And gonna force a cancel here on this base. But the Guardian, that was actually in range of the Marines, not what it should be doing.
But it does have armor, so...
It does indeed. Looks like there's only 1 lurker at the top of the ramp, but the Dark Swarm gets down just in time, and the Marines can potentially run past. Yeah, they are going to. Some Scourge coming in here for Julia to take out these vessels. Only a couple of other Hydra here. The Dark Swarm on the drones, actually, to protect them from the Marines. But there's a Firebat there. Firebat will still kill the stuff. Oh, but the lurkers are here. So, nothing for Cryoc to do there at the top left. And he's still taking damage from the Guardian. Note he's also not able to get a 3rd base either. He's building a 3rd command center in his main, but he's held back quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the main problem is that usually if you're the Terran, you want to put the pressure on the Zerg so that the Zerg cannot get out of hand. But it's the opposite. It's actually the Zerg who's putting the pressure. So, I mean, there's not really much that Cryoc can do at this point.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of time before the GG. You can see no mining of the Terran's natural thanks to these Guardians. There's going to be an Irradiate coming out, but Julia can just split that up. And looks like, oh man, the Muta's getting baited again by the random science vessel that was there. It's pretty funny. Don't know if that was on purpose or not. But these Guardians definitely worth their weight here in minerals.
Yeah, I mean, you can see actually Cryoc is completely panicking. He's sending like 5 tanks alone.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's kind of like a desperation move. Like, okay, I can't do anything. I need to attack. I need to attack.
Marines going to the top left, Vultures going to the middle, and tanks going to the right. It's like each unit gets its own section of the map.
Yeah.
What the heck? I don't understand the strategy. Oh my god, that is a lot of defilers. GG!
That was like the let's split everything in groups and hope that my opponent doesn't notice.
Dude, it's like send one control group to each corner, but obviously you have all your tanks on the same control group. It's just like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. So, Julia, we'll take game number 1, but we will be going on to game number 2 of the series. Which is going to be on Medusa, so let's see if Cryoc can pull it back.
I mean, after the first game, I fear a little bit for Cryoc because I don't think he had at any time in the game a position where he had even a chance to do damage. So it's very difficult from that game to go to a second game and say, okay, no problem, I'm going to do something else. I know what I want to do. I have to say, though, there are like 2 builds that a turn can always try. And if the Zerg messes up, always whack. And these are, I think, like Vulture to Valkyrie or the double Starport Wraith. These are like complete.
God, 2-port Wraith.
The 2-port Wraith is like, people nowadays would say this is stupid, but it works because people don't expect it. So,
dude, you're a terrible person.
I mean, if I was Cryoc right now, I would actually bring out the double-port Wraith.
The thing about that is that actually I think Neo Medusa is not a bad map for that because you can wall in completely with a depot and a barracks.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to deny the Zerg scouting of that. And also, you know, like you can completely cover like your main base and stuff to block overlords as well with Marines. So that would actually be really funny.
Becker is pointing out that people always expect 2-port Wraith. I mean, what? I don't get that. No,
dude, no, it's just because he's... Dude, Bakuryu expects everything, man. He's the master strategist. Dude, Bakuryu is like 1,000 moves ahead of everyone. He knows what build you're going to do before you even learn the build. You don't even know the build yet, but he knows when you're going to do it.
You know, if Bakuryu was like on the planet 50 billion years later and the sun was about to explode, he would be like, expected. I mean, yeah, okay, but most people don't. I have to say, though, that Julia is a little bit of a crazy player. He likes to change to very aggressive styles. Like, I mean, early Guardians, usually most people don't do that because it's a heavy investment. But Julia likes this kind of style. So, yeah, he could actually understand the idea of a double-port Wraith. And, yeah, Bakary says that if you wall in and then you go for a factory, yes, it's expected that you can go for something like a double-port Wraith. But at the same time, you can go for drops with Vultures, which completely destroy the economy of the Zerg. You can go for, basically, I think it's 1 tank with Siege with Valkyries and a few Marines, which... I mean, Fantasy did a lot of different experimentation with this against Zergs, and you can switch it up a little bit, but the problem is that you actually have to have practiced it, which, in the foreign scene, I would assume most people don't.
Yeah. You know... Unless you're Fantasy, it's kind of tricky. But it's still funny though. Like after Fantasy did his builds, you know, everyone was trying to copy it on IC Cop and just failing miserably, or just doing it on maps that like didn't even make any sense. But anyway, why don't we just find out what's gonna happen here?
All right.
Going into the game, let's see if we see any 2-port Wraith action or not. I think it'll be very exciting actually. So at the top right position as the Red Terran.